What's up, guys? CommandoSanta here, and welcome back to Buffalo Valley. How we all doing today? I'm fantastic. So, for those of you that are watching this, sequentially, I want to apologize. I was completely sick this week. I ended up missing 2 days of work. So, hopefully next week we're back to our usual schedule around Monday or Tuesday for a video, but I want to apologize for that. So, for those of you watching later, this won't matter to you because it should just be out and you can probably watch the next one by now. So, alright, moving on to what we were talking about today. So, I am continuing our River Rapids ride. So, one of the things that, in the last video we talked about is I based this off of Grizzly River Run in Disneyland, California. I pretty much copied the track layout, the River Rapids layout, whatever. But one thing I wanted to put my own spin on it because I didn't want to copy it exactly because that'd be mean. One thing I actually wanted to do was, throw my own spin on it and get to fit into our theme that we have going here in Buffalo Valley. So I ended up keeping one big part of Grizzly River Run in Disneyland, California, and it's this bridge here that goes over itself, where the bridge goes around in that semicircle and then drops under itself. I thought that was the coolest looking thing, so I really just wanted to add that into here, and yeah, we added it. So it came along. It definitely came along. One of the things is I think we're going to have maybe 1 or 2 more videos after this based off this one ride. I'm hopefully going to compile it into one. I have finished it though. That is one benefit from me being down, for the couple days this week. I was able to just play Planet Coaster for like way too long. And I finished the River Rapids pretty much. The only thing I have left to do personally is the station. And I even have that kind of blocked out. But that'll be done by the time the next video comes out. So hopefully I compile that into one like bigger video. We'll see. And then we can move on to bigger and better things after that. So yeah, doing the bridge, and I did this one little area over here, just kind of keeping it all together. I thought the bridge came out pretty cool. I wanted to add some water effects in here just to, one of the things with these rides is you spray people with water, and it's awesome. And I really wanted to make the bridge look really good from like the side that, from the bottom of the drop, that side. We don't really have coordinates in here because I can't really say north, but regardless, because I want to have a path that comes up to here, and you can maybe like have a viewing area and view from like the bottom of the bridge to watch the people come down. And the people standing on the little area are probably going to get splashed, which would be cool. But I had a few suggestions how to get people over there, and I did try it in time, and it worked. The people are coming over. It's one of those entertainment points, so that does work for those of you wondering. I remember the last video I asked for a few more recommendations of what to put in here. Well, I wrote down the recommendations, and one of the top things was, a small little restaurant to possibly get people over here. I didn't do that yet, but I want to. I really want to. And I have kind of a good idea where I might want to put it. But we'll have to see. I kind of want it to fit into where people could be sitting out on like the balcony eating, and the River Rapids ride goes by, and you can sit there and watch it go by as you're eating, even though, we don't really have tables in Planet Coaster yet. That's one thing I'm hoping for, but we can make it look like, we'll fake it. It'll look great. That's one of the things that I did with this ride. I ended up working from the top of the mountain down, so the station and everything down there was probably some of the last things I did. It'll make more sense in the next video, but I did skip out a lot of video footage. I had to watch almost all my footage over again to remember what I recorded. And it's just so much rock and tree placement, and that's gonna bore the crap out of you guys. So I I got rid of a lot of footage for that, just so we can just, get to the good stuff. So I mostly started recording just building placements and things that were actually important, not, particular rock and tree placement that I spent most of my time doing. This is probably the longest I've worked on a ride, and because there's just so much detail put into it. And the loading time for my park is actually getting very, very long. Long, I mean like 30 seconds, but that's pretty long for this game. Usually, when we first start, when you have a blank map, it takes like less than a second for it to load. But, well, I don't know. It's going to get worse from here, but one of the other recommendations I had, I think this was from like a video or two ago, was incorporate a lumber mill into a River Rapids ride or a log flume. Now, obviously we did the River Rapids ride, but I do want to put in a lumber mill, and I have not forgotten about that. Same thing with the restaurant. I have not forgotten about that. I have all the ideas written down on a little piece of paper on my desk. But I think the lumber mill might actually incorporate itself into the restaurant. And maybe we will just call it the mill. I don't know. I'm kind of excited about that though, but it should be really, really cool. I've already, done some research on the restaurant because I'm ahead of you guys right at this point. So thank you for me being sick, I guess, but I'm excited for it. But I guess one last thing, well, kind of coming back to, what we're talking about with the ride and everything. One of my favorite things I did with this part was it kind of sweeps through and then it gets really rocky over here. And the theme I had for this was, completely rocky. Everything, piles of rocks, piles of like dense trees, forestation, and stuff like that. And I don't know, it just so happened where I kept everything a little bit too close. So when I went to make went to do some terraforming and some terrain and stuff, I ended up getting like these very harsh cliffs. And then it just clicked in my head, like, oh, why don't we just have some really cool waterfalls? So a little bit later in this video, you'll see I added some waterfalls into it, and I'll try and get some action shots for the post-video action shot, as I like to call it, and it'll look fantastic. And it did turn out fantastic. And then I ended up adding waterfalls to different parts of the ride. And I'm very pleased with how they came out. And I've been trying to work on some lighting for them just to make them look really cool and light up at night, but the water doesn't really reflect light. So I'm not sure about keeping like those big box lights pointed at it. I'm definitely gonna have to tweak and play with it a little bit more, but because I want to maybe like have like a blue light kind of lighting up the waterfall just for some ambient light for whenever we come out to darkness. In case we're building and it goes dark, it actually looks kind of cool, but I don't know. I'm sure it turned out pretty okay as it is, but I definitely have to tweak it a little bit more. But for the bridge, we talked about the closer sections going to be like a little viewing area. And I think in that we're at the bottom of this hill right here, it kind of sweeps around and starts heading back to the station. I think that's where I'm going to put the restaurant. I think that's going to be a great spot for it. But because what I had envisioned for the station was kind of like you start out in maybe like a frontier town, not really western, but like kind of log cabin-ish. Well, not really log cabin-ish, more like, rustic old wood. And then you kind of move yourself into I don't know how to explain it, is move yourself into maybe like, an actual lumber mill, which I'm trying to, incorporate there. But I wanted like a couple buildings, and you ride your rafts in between, like in like a canal of sorts going through the buildings. And I ended up making the canal, but that's not till next episode. Everything exciting is the next episode, I guess, but I guess this is just a filler and not exciting. But yeah, so we'll definitely get to that, and you guys will see what I mean when we get there. So I think I'm gonna just end it here and just make this video super short. I apologize if you guys don't really like that, but the next episode is gonna be more like not boring. This episode is just really boring and kind of fillery, so And this is me post being, you know, down and out for a couple days. So thank you guys for watching, and I'm going to move over to the little pretty cool looking section where we just kind of show off everything. So I'm just going to leave it here then. Please like my video if you liked it. Hit that subscribe button and let me know what you think. And if you have any ideas, please post them in the comments. You can also hit me up on Twitter and talk to me on the forums, Planet Coaster forums, or Reddit if I post to Reddit. I probably won't post this to Reddit until I'm completely done with it, because I don't want to like muck it up, you know. So yeah, thanks guys, and I'll see you in the next video.